Okay, I went and put some cold water on my face. I got all emotional on the last one. I read a book when I was a kid, I think fourth grade. It's called Flowers for Algernon, and there's a great movie that really told the story well called Charlie. Anyway, that's always shook me up. But you see, that's part of my life problem. Is all my life I've known that I was smarter than everybody else, but I always thought that everybody could be like me. I just thought that I had some sort of extra kickstart or a good edge, or but somehow I didn't think of myself as different. I kept trying to blend with the common man and think, hey, I seem to have an edge on you. Let's be friends. But no, that's not. There's definitely something different about me, and now I'm 66 years old, and I'm finally accepting that. But I've been trying to be a common man who's just smarter. A common man who was a good musician. A common man who did Kung Fu. I didn't realize I was so different, that I was not the common man at all. So, well, I don't know about not at all. I'm definitely blended in for a both. That's because I put it in the fourth position down here. I put that worker in. And so anyway, 32B. This is me, your daily Taoist here, giving you your daily Taoism. I'm trying to figure out if this is going to work. If this doesn't work, I'm not sure, but I'm going to give you about 40, 50 of these things and see them out. And if they take off and people like them, I'd love to keep doing them, because as you can see, this information is inspiring for me, and I wrote it to be inspiring for you. And if we've got something that works, we have a Tao going here, and I'd be willing to support this Tao. But I can't support a Tao. It's like watering a seed that's not going to ever grow if it's a dead seed, and that is part of Tao. I don't think it's in this part. It might be in the next part, because I don't remember seeing this one. But there's a few things about trees and planting and growing and things that are really interesting in the second half, which I used to think about in Utah. When I moved to Utah, it talked about don't plant a seed in the sand. You have to plant it where there's going to be water and dirt or whatever. But anyway, the point is when I moved to Utah, I realized, oh, hold it. I think I'm planting my seed in the sand. This isn't working. Nothing's going to grow here. And so my life in Utah, I had to take my dreams, put them in a little box, and then raise my kids. And I did the Kung Fu. I did all kinds of interesting stuff. It's interesting how I did do that, but I had to totally flip my life upside down. And then, hey, where were we? 32B. Let's get on here. This is the Tao of Taoism by me. Talking about, and Bear came back after I went, and I came. He just wanted to get back on my lap again. Actually, he was in the chair, and I couldn't get him out, so I picked him up, and then he wanted to be here. So okay. Hello. Like I said, I've decided to relish your distractions. It's not like he distracts me a lot. You add it up, and it's maybe less than an hour a day. So an hour a day of love is that's a good, maybe we should have like a 30-minute minimum of love every day you get from some source. 32B. All things and all... I was trying to say about the flowers of Algernon. I always thought that everybody was the same. And so that's led me astray in trying to do business relationships, partner relationships, working with other musicians, not realizing that some people would never be a real musician. I could recognize the talent, and I could realize this guy's capable of doing what I want, type of thing. But I didn't realize that there was a musician's soul, that there's an actual soul. You have to be born with it. If you don't got it, you don't got it. You can be it doesn't mean you can't learn music. You can just be a person who learns to play music. That's fine. And then you call yourself a musician. But a real musician, he's born that way. He's got a certain drive to get this music out of him. It's different. It's probably impossible for you to understand unless you're a musician. Because my family doesn't understand. I've been a musician for 66 years, and my family still does not accept it. They still don't see it. They don't understand it. So if your own brothers and sisters and parents can't understand what a musician is, then obviously nobody can. So that's why us musicians are all dead. We're a rare breed now. We've been siphoned off or sent to war. You got to remember, you send them off to war, you give us PTSD, and we're burnt. We're damaged. We're damaged goods. All our philosophy and our music and everything's going to have that in it. I mean, that's good. We want to write war stories from a regretful position and have this kind of dark slant on it, which has its point in life. But I think we should eliminate the whole thing, the wars and the people with the PTSD and everything. I think it's all a mistake. But the point is that sending, I think, this is a hypothesis of mine, because remember, I'm brand new to this whole soul theory. But if you take an artist like me and send us over to war, and then we come back. All of that's in our brains for the rest of our life. For the rest of our life. Well, I remember everything. My kids, my childhoods, my kids, my teenage years, all the different girls I've been with. I remember little bits of all the different girls I've been with and everything. So, you know, but to have that stuck in my brain. And the Greek, and remember, when I've talked to soldiers, real soldiers, people who've been in real combat, you know, they got regret, you know. We don't like killing people. Doesn't matter how much you pay us. We don't like killing people. It's a shame some people don't realize that until it's too late. Okay, here we go. All 32b. All things and all persons must integrate freely with nature and each other. Freely, freely. That means you don't have to worry about getting shot while you're intermixing and going from one place to another. You need to intermix. So anytime you're shooting somebody, you're against the Tao. Right there, you've already broken this rule. All things and all persons must integrate freely. If you're shooting them for integrating, you're evil. You are evil. Okay? Boundaries, fences. These are things that Trump loves. Let's see where this line goes. I didn't read this ahead. I don't know. Let's see what it says. Boundaries, fences, and any lines drawn that are meant to separate one part of nature from another will only frustrate nature's activities into a reactionary chaos that is equal to the amount of control imposed upon nature. That's that Spock thing again. Remember that balance that you mentioned about being right and wrong, but this is about nature. So the nature now. They're saying, okay, so the more you put fences and boundaries and separate nature and its activities and everything like that, you're frustrating nature. So the amount of effort that you put into building these walls and everything is the amount that nature resents you. So the bigger the walls, the thicker the walls, the higher the walls, the more nature dislikes you. That's really what it's saying. Okay, everybody should be able to move freely, remember? Anytime you put a wall up, you're defeating nature. The animals got to go over there for their food. You put a wall up, hey, where am I going for my food? The water's over there. You know, there's a stream, whatever. Every wall affects nature. The way the wind blows. Maybe those seeds needed to blow over here. Maybe the bees can't fly high enough to get over the wall to fertilize those flowers. So yeah, the wall, anytime we interfere with nature, you know, the impact, you know, maybe is going to be beyond our, we're never going to know all the impacts. It's impossible. I don't know all the impacts of all the bugs and things, but we impact nature, everything we do. Okay, explain your material possession quest. Seriously, explain your material possession quest. Everybody's got to want something. If you're an American, you're trained and ingrained and bred to buy. But what do you want to get? Me, I want more music equipment, photography equipment. I need storage. I need web space. I need some designers. I need some help. I'd hire researchers. Anyway, I would just do what I'm doing professionally. That's what my material possessions are going to enable me to be more enabled. Okay, explain your power quest. My power quest. My power would, of course, just, you know, be to remain in control and move this forward, like raising a kid. The power to raise a kid. You know, you don't just say, well, I hope he lives. No, you have to exercise some power to exert, protect that child and raise him up and influence him. Buy this and take him this and get him that. So you have to use your power to raise it. So that's what my power is. I want to raise my companies and get everything done. I've done it to some kids, and you know, so and I've done buildings, and I've built all kinds of things. Now I want to build this kind of media empire that I've got, because I'm going to make videos, I'm going to make albums, I'm going to make books, I'm going to do curriculums, I'm going to have kung fu programs, I'm going to, you know, so, and the internet, the web shows, the radio stations. So anyway, that's me, and I do it all. I'm doing it all myself right now. Everything I just mentioned, I'm actually doing. I just would do it bigger and better if I had more money and more power. Okay, here we go. Explain how you protect your belongings and power. Well, I've been homeless for 6 years, man. That's been more difficult than I want to even tell you about it. So let's just go on. So how about you? How do you protect your possessions, your belongings, and protect your power? What do you do? But my stories in my books. Get my poetry books from the last few years, my stories about being homeless. That explains everything. That'll answer that question very, very well. In fact, it'll answer for me too. I want to know what I did. I'm living forward. I don't like looking back. My looking back is not motivating even for me. Just going forward, it's kind of like swimming through the seaweed, you know. I don't want to look to see how much seaweed I've swam through. I only want to look at what's ahead, and I want to see where the shore is, and I just want to keep going. Oh. Okay, this is, like I said, setting you up, but it's important. We all need to say this. Explain your patriotism. Explain your patriotism. Explain your team spirit. All right, see you later, buddy. Gotta go to hair. I eat so much hair. It comes up my pillow even. No. I have probably had more hairballs go through me than not as much as a cat, but close. Here we go. Explain your patriotism. Explain it. Explain your team spirit. Now that is something that I've really been surprised, because I was raised in a world of sports. So a lot of you millennials may not even know what team spirit is. Well, actually, everybody's got to know it to some extent. You know, your family's a team. There's teams. But a real team spirit is something you have to have a team for. And you have to work together. You have to have a goal. You have to lose. You have to suffer. You have to pull each other through. You have to get there, and you have to get to the end, whatever that is, and boom. Now, that process of getting together, being together, working together, failing together, can't always go good, succeeding and failing and hurting and helping and then getting here. That, you have to go through that to even know what team spirit is. Because you develop your team spirit by being able to do that again. Once you've done it once, then you know what team spirit is, and then you can do it better. Basically, nobody's going to be good at what they're ignorant at the first time going through. But you get through that, now you're aware of what team spirit is. So you got to do it again and get better at it, and help other people get better at it, and then you actually get a better team. See, because you got to help the team be good. If you're a crappy team member, you're just making the rest of the team crappy, because that's your motivation, is just be crappy because you're crappy. so you got to get better. So it's an evolving process. So team spirit requires a whole bunch of those things. And you do that a few times as you're growing up in school, and baseball teams, football teams, or in my case, I like being in rock bands. You know, that's a team spirit to be in that rock band. But you have to develop it. You have to be in those situations. And if you haven't been in those situations that require team spirit, you're just ignorant. You know, you're just a worker. You're just somebody who's, you know, been hiding in their house their whole life. And that's a shame, you know. But it's I'm sorry. I take that back. Backpedal. I don't shame people, and it's only a shame to somebody like that was a response. It's not a shame. You are who you are. Remember, this is the Tao, and I cannot shame anybody for having a different Tao than me, or even going against the Tao. My goal is not to shame you; it's to make you aware of it. So if you say, "Oh, really? I was doing this when I should have been doing that," oh, now I know. Okay. Now the shame is if you actually don't want to improve your life or do the right thing at that point. That's, I think, a little shameful in terms of your reputation. You're shaming yourself, but I'm not going to shame you. And I think shaming is wrong. Because remember, that's punishing. That means that you're trying to apply punishment. They deserve the consequences. That's what shaming is. It's punishing. So that's not my job. No, even if it was my job, I wouldn't take it. I don't want that job. It's a wrong job to have. Okay, I like to make people better. And shaming doesn't make people better. It doesn't work. Okay, where were we? Well, how many minutes we got? 13. I got to totally blast. There's no way I can get through this. Am I on the wrong thing? Oh yeah, good, over here. I was on the wrong page. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Explain your immigration concepts. Hey, remember I wrote this back 20, 30 years ago. Immigration has become a hot topic. Explain your beliefs on foreign trade and free help duties, customs, and labor laws. Wow. I mean, these are hot topics. I would have never guessed. I'm surprised I even mentioned them, but these are good things to know and think. Describe a world of no countries. I'll read that one more time and I gotta go. Describe a world of no countries. All right, Buddha Zhen here, actually in lockdown in California, in Lancaster, California. So